All right, hi guys, welcome back to 234 in La Casa. So today we're going to make pizza for dinner and dessert. So I'm going to bring you all over and show you how we're going to have a delightful pizza dinner as well as a pizza for dessert. See you all in a second. All right, guys. So I don't know if you all have, I'm sure everybody has lots of stories about pizza in their family. And it's a tradition that a lot of families have of making pizzas together, homemade pizzas, or even remembering when you, in childhood, when you were in elementary school or middle school or junior high or high school, having the cafeteria pizza at school. That was a favorite of mine. And I remember the little fennel seeds. I didn't know what they were at that time, but the little seeds that are in the sauce underneath the pizza and on top of the pizza at school. And it was always so good. I always looked forward to pizza day at school. And so I don't think I've eaten as much pizza as I have over the past 16, 17 years since I met my husband, who's he loves pizza. So we eat pizza a lot. And so I'm going to show you all how to make homemade pizza just at home. You can decide whatever kind of crust you want to use. I know there's some in the refrigerated section at grocery stores. That's fantastic. But this bread right here, this is focaccia bread. And I got this at Trader Joe's. I'm going to show that to you all. And I'm going to be using this as my pizza crust, okay? And so you can use whatever toppings you like. I mean, I know I have a child that loves cheese pizza. I have another one that wants pepperoni. I have another, another child that likes meat lovers, and my husband loves a lot of meat. So I just have all kinds of toppings here for us to choose from. So I'm going to open this bread and get it sliced. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and place some oil on a pan. You can use olive oil or you can use vegetable oil. And then this is the vegetable oil I'm going to use. And I'm just going to brush the pan with this and stick it in the oven. So that way the pan will be hot. And so when you place your pizza crust on there, it will have a nice little crust underneath, okay? So I just put some vegetable oil here and I just poured it into the pan. And I'm going to pull you all down so you all can see. So I'm going to go ahead and brush this pan with the oil in it and get it all oiled around. And so we'll stick our pan in the oven and let it get hot. And that will give me enough time, or give you all and everyone enough time to actually cut your bread. And it doesn't take very long at all to slice your bread and to get your pizza sauce on there and all your toppings. It doesn't take long at all, okay? And that way we can make two pizzas. And you can use any kind, like I said, any kind of bread or crust that you would like, whatever your favorite crust is, in the refrigerated section at your store, whether that's Pillsbury or even if you want to use garlic bread, if that's what you want to use, you can use that as well, okay? And so I've got that cut in half. And this side is a little bit thinner than this side, which is perfect because I'm going to be using this side for me, and I prefer a thinner crust. If you like a heavier crust, then you would want to make sure that you slice your bread evenly in half, okay? And so I'm going to use pizza sauce. I'm not going to use marinara sauce. Marinara is kind of thin and pizza sauce is thicker and sweeter. So I'm going to use pizza sauce, and this was the cheapest pizza sauce, and so I just grabbed it. And so we'll just see how it tastes. But of course, I'm going to be seasoning mine. So, but you can decide how you want to do yours. And for the toppings, I'm going to be, for my family, I'm going to be using some ground beef that I've already browned and seasoned with salt and pepper, and some pepperoni slices, and this is from Trader Joe's, and some pineapple tidbits. And I also have some meatballs here that I'm going to be using as well for my husband's pizza, okay? I'll show y'all the meatballs that I use. They're really, really good. And these are home-style meatballs from Trader Joe's. They're excellent. They're very good. I know how to make homemade meatballs as well, but I was trying to grab things very quickly for dinner, dinner for pizza. So you can see that it really is not going to take very long to prepare this dish. So you just stick this in the oven at 400 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how pink you want your meatballs. I know that I was going to put meatballs on a pizza to go in the oven for an additional time. So I undercooked them just slightly, not heavily, just undercooked because I didn't want them to get dried out once I placed them in the oven with the pizza. Or place them in the oven for pizza, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and open this pizza sauce. This pizza sauce, when I opened it, it smells really good. There we go, there's the sauce. And so now I'm gonna add some fennel seeds, like what we used to see on our pizzas at when we were in school. Okay, and you can decide to add any more seasoning that you may like. You may wanna add some more salt. You may wanna add some pepper or garlic or onion powder or whatever. That's left up to you. I'm gonna add just a little bit of salt, and I'm using pink Himalayan sea salt. So I'm gonna add just a little bit of salt, just a little, not a lot, to that sauce. And then I prefer for my pizza to have cheese on the bottom and then my toppings on top. I like for my pepperonis to get really, really crisp on top. And so I'm gonna go ahead and put cheese on both of these, and I'm probably not gonna put cheese on top of the pizza. That's just my personal preference, okay? I'm not saying that you all have to do it this way. You all can dress your pizza however you like to dress it. I just prefer for my pepperonis to be on top of my pizza, okay? And this is mozzarella cheese, and that's it. I shredded off the block. It's just plain mozzarella, nothing else added to it. But you can choose whatever kind of cheese you want to use. You can mix it with other Italian cheeses if that's what you would like. It's just left up to you about how you want to, what kind of cheese you want to use to dress your pizza, okay? All right, so now that's all the cheese on there. And on this pizza, I'm gonna do just pepperoni for one of my daughters. That's all she wants is pepperoni. And so I'm gonna do that for her. And I may put a little something else on there so that, because I know she's probably not gonna eat all of that. And I'm using this Trader Joe's, like I said, sliced pepperoni, and I'm putting that pepperoni on top, okay? And so that's it, and I'm going to put some Italian seasoning on here. For hers. Okay, and that's it. And so on this one, I'm going to do some of the meatball. And I've cut the meatball in half just so it can lay flat. Okay. And that's all I'm gonna do on that part. And then on the rest of the pizza, I'm gonna do ground beef, pepperoni, and some pineapple, okay? And I'm not gonna pile it high with a lot of meats and stuff like that because I want it to be able to cook all the way through. So I don't wanna pile it just high with a whole lot of different toppings. And I'm gonna kinda move that around just a little bit there. And I'm gonna place some, like I said, I'm gonna put some pepperoni on here. Okay, and then now I'm going to go ahead and add some pineapple. All right, and so then now I can smell the pan in the oven. I'm gonna go ahead and get it out. All right, guys, and so the pan is out of the oven. I did drain a little bit of that oil off, and so now I'm about to place this pizza crust on the baking pan. And I don't know if you could hear that little sizzle, but it had a sizzle. And then all of the extra that came off the bottom of the of this one pizza crust, I'm gonna place underneath this other one. I should have done that before I placed the other one on the pan. Didn't think to do it. Okay, y'all, so the oven's at 375. And I'm gonna place this in the oven for about 20 minutes. And so I will bring you all back and show you the finished product. All right, y'all, so the pizza's ready, about to get it out of the oven. All right, y'all, there it is, it's out the oven. It looks fantastic. I had it in the oven at 375 for about 15 minutes. And then for the last 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes, I turned it up to 425 just to get it a little bit darker because we like our pizza a little bit darker. This is sizzling. This is smelling so good. I'm going to grab this little piece of cheese that kind of baked, fell off, and I'm going to eat that. It smells excellent. And you can see how the pepperonis are crisp on top, just like we like them. I'm gonna let this rest for about 3 minutes, and then I'm gonna go ahead and slice the pizza. All right, y'all, so it's been about a minute or two, and I'm gonna go ahead and slice. And this meatball one is not for me, so, but do you hear how that crust is sounding? It sounds so good. Listen to that. So good, y'all. And it smells excellent. Okay. Now I am going to let it sit for a second before I taste test it because I don't want to bite into a hot pizza, although I could get a fork and knife and eat it that way. And so I'm going to go ahead and slice this pepperoni. This one's mine, so that's the one that I'm going to taste test. And then I'm going to let you all listen to me cut this one. This pepperoni's for my daughter. She's already been in here and she's like, oh my gosh, it looks so good. And it does. It looks really good. So y'all, I've cut mine and I'm about to taste test. It's excellent. And that focaccia bread, the crust is so crisp, so good. So flavorful. It's excellent. Let me show you. That. It's good. All right. Well, we've got our pizza for dinner. Now I've got to show you how to make your pizza for dessert. So I'll show you the ingredients for that in just a second. All right, guys, so we're getting ready to do our dessert pizza. It is going to be a sugar cookie crust fruit pizza that you can make with your friends, family members. You can make it for yourself or your kids. I know with the spring holidays coming up, I think that it's a great group activity for you to be able to do with your family members if you're looking for something neat to do. I know that I have relatives that live in the state of Washington, and they came down for a family reunion several years ago and actually made this fruit pizza with our children and the kids kids had an awesome time helping to construct this fruit pizza. So that's what we're going to be doing as the dessert pizza for our, to end our dinner pizza that we just had. So I'm going to be making the sugar cookie crust from scratch. If you don't want to do that, you can get the sugar cookie dough in the refrigerated section of your grocery store, and you can roll that out on a round pizza crust dish or tin and bake it in the oven, or you can use your 11 by 13 cookie sheet and roll it out into a rectangular shape and bake that as well. But that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm just going to be making the crust from scratch and then placing it on an 11 by 13 so I can have a rectangular shaped pizza crust. Okay, so if this is what's going to be in the beginning of this video, is me making the sugar cookie dough from scratch. If you are not interested in that, then you can just skip forward to where I begin building the actual pizza with the pizza sauce and the fruit and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so let's get started on building this, making this pizza crust with our sugar cookie. Okay, so that's 1 1/4 cups of granulated sugar. And to this, we're gonna add 1 cup of room temperature butter. And so you don't want it to be like I've told you all before, like I live in the South, and so you don't want it to be sweltering heat because in your house is 90 degrees or what have you, because we're in the South. You want your butter to be cool, room temperature, but cool. And so like I'm pressing it and it just has like a little impression there. That's how you're wanting it. That's how it needs to be. Okay. So we're going to put 1 cup of, my butter is salted. You can use unsalted butter. If you decide to use unsalted butter, then you'll want to add some salt to your dry ingredients for these cookies. Okay. About a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, or you can use less if you are on a salt-free diet or on a limited sodium diet. You can use less salt than that 1/2 teaspoon. Okay. All right. So I'm going to cream the butter and sugar together, and I've added my paddle attachment. And while I get ready to cream this together, I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven. Okay. And we're going to cream the butter and sugar until it's light and fluffy. And the oven, we're going to go ahead and preheat to 350 degrees. Okay, I'm going to stop the mixer and I'm going to go ahead and scrape down my sides and underneath just to make sure that that butter and sugar is being creamed together properly and fully incorporated. And I'm going to scrape my paddle off too, just to make sure that there's, that everything's getting incorporated together fully. Okay. Okay, y'all, so it's been 2 to 3 minutes, and boy, creaming this butter and sugar, it looks like a pound cake. This is what my butter and sugar looks like when I make my pound cakes. But I digress. This is sugar cookie dough. So, but this is the butter and sugar that we've creamed together. And then for this sugar cookie dough, we're going to, and yes, I do make pound cakes, and I'll have to do a video about that, but we're doing sugar cookie right now. I'm going to stay focused, y'all. So to this, we're going to add 2 large eggs. You're going to add 1 large egg and then 1 large egg yolk only. Okay, so you're not going to add in the egg white. Okay, so I've got 1 egg here. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and separate my egg. Hold on for a second, y'all. I'm going to go over to the sink and drain the egg white off. All right, so I'm going to add in 1 large egg and then 1 large egg yolk, okay? And also we're going to add in, and that's room temperature eggs. And then 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And of course, this is the vanilla that I use, okay? So that's 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And then we're going to start our mixer back and get that incorporated. I'm going to turn my mixer up. Okay, and so then that's incorporated, and so now we're going to add our dry ingredients. I'm using white lily flour, and so this is 1 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, sifted, and also 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And the baking powder that I'm using which was sifted in with the flour, is the Clabber Girl baking powder, okay? So I'm gonna gradually add the dry to the wet. And we're gonna start off on a low setting, adding that dry in, because you don't want your dry to like poof in your face and all over your countertop until it becomes more incorporated, and then you can kind of turn it up a little bit. Okay, and I'm gonna scrape the sides. And y'all, I think I misspoke about the flour. I apologize. It was 2.5 cups. I think I said 1 1/4. I apologize. I used 2.5 cups, but it'll be correct in the description box. 2.5 cups of sifted all-purpose flour, and I did use white lily. Okay, I just misspoke. So let's see here. All right, y'all, so I'm gonna taste this dough to make sure. Like I said, I didn't add any salt to mine because my butter is salted, but I'm gonna taste it to make sure it's got enough salt in it. Okay, I'm gonna add like 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and I'm just gonna add some pink Himalayan sea salt, and which is right here. And the reason why I'm gonna do it is because the fruit pizza is gonna be pretty sweet. It's going to have a sweet sauce. It's going to have sweet fruit. And so to offset some of that, I want to have just a hint of salty. And I think this may do it. Let's just see. And I think I'm going to just do 1/8 teaspoon right now. I'm going to mix that in and see what that tastes like, and then add the rest if I need to. I'm doing 1/8 right now. All right, so I've got that mixed together. I'm gonna lower that down. All right, so I've got the cookie dough here. I'm gonna get my cookie sheet. And so now all I'm gonna do is just place the entire cookie dough amount that we have in the bowl onto the parchment paper. And this sugar cookie recipe is not only good for, you know, like your sugar cookie, your dessert pizza crust. It's just good, simply good for cookies as well. It makes a really good sugar cookie. And I am going to get this spread into the cookie sheet, and I'm not gonna have it spread all the way like corner to corner or anything. I'm just gonna have it in a square type shape, but I'm not gonna have it corner to corner, an 11 by 13. And so when you have it in a larger pan like this even allows you to be able to put it into any shape you want to. Like, you don't have to have it round or rectangle, or you could shape it in a heart if you wanted to, or any kind of fun shapes that your kids like. And this is where they can get involved in the process too, or grandchildren or family or whomever, you know, you creative family members around you that may want to put it in the shape of a star, into the shape of the continent of Africa, or into the shape of Italy, or, you know, what have you. I mean, you can put it in any shape that you want to. The shape of a moon, the shape of anything, really. All right, well, I've got this shaped, and I'll show you all what it looks like. And I'm trying to make sure I've got it even, because I don't want parts of the cookie to be done and parts of it not. Where it's thinner, it's more done, than where it's thicker, it's not done. So it's important to make sure that whatever shape you decide, that you do have your dough even in depth or thickness, okay? And another thing I just thought about too that you can do, you could use this entire cookie dough and have several different personal size sugar cookie dough crust, and make these into little personal pan dessert pizzas too. So you could do that as well. Nothing is written that it has to be some huge, pizza crust. You could have it in a personal size pan, or even personal size dessert pizza, or even a mini, like little cookies that you put your fruit and stuff on. So you can do that as well. All right, y'all, and so this is done, and I'm gonna go ahead and let me show this to y'all. So there it is. It looks really, really good, and I'm gonna go ahead and place this in the oven, and I'm gonna place it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. I'm gonna check it in 20 minutes and just see how it's doing, okay? All right, I'll bring y'all back when it comes out of the oven. All right, guys, so now we're gonna make the pizza sauce for our dessert pizza. So I have here a a cup and a half of whipped cream cheese. You can use, and this is room temperature, you can use the original cream cheese, you know, that comes in the squares or rectangles or what have you. If you decide to use that, then you want to use 1 8-ounce pack of cream cheese and then a half of another pack, and make sure it's room temperature. And then you're going to want to use some vanilla flavoring, or vanilla, for your pizza, dessert pizza sauce. So here I have a half a teaspoon of vanilla and 2 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream, and I'll show you which heavy whipping cream I use. Okay, that's the heavy whipping cream, and so I've got 2 tablespoons there. And then you're gonna also want to use 2 tablespoons of either whatever kind of sweetener that you like. If it's agave, if it's turbinado, if it's sweet and low, which I'm not endorsing anything, or, you know, sugar substitute. You can use honey as well, or you can just use 2 tablespoons of a regular granulated sugar. And I'm out of honey right now, so I'm just gonna use 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and add in here the 2 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream and the half teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, and so then I'm gonna use my whisk attachment. All right, so we'll go ahead and get this mixed together. So we've got that done. I'm gonna go ahead and get this whisk detached and cleaned off, and I'll bring you all back once that sugar cookie is out of the oven. Okay, you guys, so I just wanted to pop in really quick. I'm still doing, you know, the fruit pizza. The sugar cookie has come out of the oven, and I'm going to show you all what that looks like, but I just want to let you all know what I'm doing now. And this is just something that you can do, just a little hack or what have you. It's like, you know, I made the dinner pizza earlier, and so for those of you all that don't know, the person, my husband works at night, so he does work this evening. So he had pizza for lunch. So, and he's a person that doesn't really, he'll eat leftovers, but he really prefers not to. So what I've decided to do is, and he's like resting right now, so while he's resting, he's got to be at work in about 2.5 hours. So what I've decided to do is to take the meatball and the ground beef that I was using for the pizza from earlier and make a lasagna out of it. So he'll have something different for his lunch. And I was just wanting to share that with you all as something that you can do as well. If you were to make those pizzas and have the meatballs and all that kind of stuff, if you have anything left over, you can always freeze it and make pizzas, you know, another pizza later. Or if you have, you know, a situation like what I have where my spouse is going to work this evening, I'm just going to take some of these meatballs and add it, cut them up really small, add it to the ground beef that I was using for the pizza, add some tomato sauce to this, and make a lasagna out of it, so he'll have something different to take in his lunch. So that's just a little, you know, something that you can do. Just, you don't have to take the suggestion or anything. I'm just letting you all know what I'm doing. And that way it stretches further than just for pizza. You can use it for something else as well. One other thing too, the cheese that's left over from the pizzas from earlier too, that's already been shredded or grated, I'm going to use that for the lasagna as well. And then I'm going to grate some more like Colby Jack or something like that to go with it, because it's not a whole lot, but still, so I'll have use out of the cheese. You can also freeze that cheese back. Some people freeze their grated cheese back. That works too. But since it's the same day, I've already got it grated, I'm just going to use what I have and switch it into something else. And that way it feels like a fresh new meal to him, and food's not going to waste. Okay. All right. So I'll show you all the sugar cookie. It's out of the oven. It's cooling off, and all the fruit and stuff I have cut up. I'll show that to y'all in just a second. All right. Bye. Okay, y'all, so I wanted to pop back on and let you know. So a couple of videos ago, I think I videoed like some Kool-Aid cream cheese pies, and or just Kool-Aid pie, what have you. And so I used some disposable pie tins. I like the shape of them or whatever, but I wound up washing them and keeping them. Well, now this is what I'm going to be using for my husband's lasagna. And then my dad, he's 83 and he still works as well. He works during the day though, so he'll be getting off from work soon as well. So I have another pie tin, and I'm going to do one for him too. And so it's enough sauce and pasta and meat and everything for both of them to be able to get some you know, their own like personal size lasagna out of it. Okay, so I just wanted to share this with you guys, and it's nice because it's kind of like, you know, just carry and go, because these are just some disposable pie tins that I was using, and wound up saving in case I want to make another pie. But it's going to be even better used because you know, the men in my family need to eat lunch and dinner and all that, and so I'm just going to use it for them so that they can just kind of carry their lunch easily and just dispose of it however they choose to when they get to work. Okay, so I just wanted to pop in and let you all know the progress on that, and just another way to be able to have multi-use out of different things that you have, like, you know, just another multi-purpose user, how to repurpose things with the food, with the dishes and the little things that we have, instead of trashing them, you know, or whatever, and creating more, you know, more trash on the planet or whatever. You can try and repurpose this stuff into further use. And I'm not saying that this is just the perfect way to repurpose these tins. I mean, I did use it for pie, but I wound up keeping them to use again. I know they're disposable, but then now I'm going to pack up lunches for my husband and dinner for my dad in them, and they may end up reusing them or throwing them away. But I'm just saying, it was more, I got more use out of these pie tins than just what I purchased them for. Okay, so I just wanted to show you all that and show you the progress, and I've got enough here, like I said, to be able to feed both of them lunch and dinner today. So and that all came from making some homemade pizzas. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. All right, guys, so this is the sugar cookie. It's come out of the oven and it's completely cooled. And if you watched my previous segment on this video, I mentioned that I was going to cut some of it off to send with my dad for dinner, because he's 83, he still works, and he's divorced. And so, you know, I'll cook for him sometimes and take stuff to him or send stuff to him. So I'm going to cut some of this off for him where it broke a little bit. And because he doesn't want fruit pizza, but he loves sugar cookies. And so I'm going to also cut some off for my husband for his lunch. He likes kind of like tea cakes and sugar cookies and stuff. So I'm going to cut some off for them. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. And then I'll get started on the fruit pizza part of it. And show you all how to do that. So see where it's kind of broken right there and there. So this should give them enough of a dessert, and see how soft it is. And like I had mentioned earlier, this is my, I remember making this a few years ago, and my daughter may edit this out because I think I've already said it once or twice, and so I think this is the recipe that my husband likes best. So he'll enjoy this sugar cookie in his lunch. Okay, so here we are. We've got our pizza ready, and you can use any kind of fruit that your family enjoys. Okay, so I've got strawberries, blueberries, kiwi, raspberries, and some mandarin oranges. And I'm also going to use the leftover pineapple from earlier that I used with our pizza, with our dinner pizza. I have a few tidbits left from that, so I'm going to add that as well. These blueberries were frozen. I did place them in the fridge so they can defrost. I'm going to see how they do. I may not add them at all, but we'll just see. It's preferable to use fresh, but raspberries and blackberries were on sale, and so that's what I got. I got some blackberries because I'm going to make a blackberry cobbler later, another day, and the blueberries were not on sale, so I didn't get any, but I had some in the freezer, and so that's what I'm going to use. Okay. All right, you just want to make sure that you drain the juice of the mandarin oranges and the pineapples off before you place on the pizza. I drank it. My daughter drank that one. So, and I always get the fruit that's in fruit juice, no heavy syrups or anything like that, but you get what you prefer to have. Okay. All right. So now we're going to put our sauce on the sugar cookie. This is our pizza sauce. Okay. And, I ran to go pick up kids, came back and made the lasagnas and everything for my dad and husband. And so now had to pick up kids from school, and so now we're doing this, and this is a nice little dessert and or a snack for when the kids come home from school. And at this point, when you're putting your pizza sauce on, this is a perfect time to get the kids involved. to spread the pizza sauce and all of that, the, you know, the cream cheese, the, you know, pizza sauce. They love doing this part of it, and then also putting the fruit on there as well. That's another point that kids really, really enjoy participating in. And so if you notice any areas that are thinner than others, you can add some more of your cream cheese sauce to those areas. That's what I was doing. And so now we're just gonna go ahead and assemble our dessert pizza. And the thing that I like about doing the individual pizzas is that some people may not like kiwi, or they may not like raspberries, or they may want apples on theirs, or they may want grapes. And so you're able to make it more personalized. That's what makes it easier and a lot more fun too when you do the individual ones, because the kids you can have a whole bar set up. You know what I mean? Like with the pizza sauce, you know, kind of like how you assemble just a regular pizza, but it's, you know, your dessert pizza. You can have a whole bar set up with the sauce, the fruits, and all that, and they can do it all. They can, you know, dress it the way they want to. So that makes it a lot of fun with the participation portion of it. Okay, so I got strawberries, and so I'm gonna put strawberry on here, and I've got kiwi as well. I'm gonna place some kiwi on there, and we've got mandarin orange and pineapple. I'm gonna put a couple pineapples right here, and then some raspberries. And you can either put your raspberries on here whole, or you can cut them in half. You know, raspberries tend to get a little messy, so it's just your druthers in terms of if you wanna put them on here whole, or if you wanna cut them up. Just whatever shapes you enjoy your fruit to be in is the perfect shape for it to be. All right, and that's it. That's your dessert pizza. All right, y'all, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut myself a piece of this dessert pizza. Okay. And taste test for y'all. And I wanted the corner piece because I like crispy cookies. So I'm gonna do the corner piece. Okay, so now let's see how it tastes. It's good and not heavily sweet. Even with all the fruit, the whipped cream, the vanilla flavoring, the sugar cookie, it's not heavily sweet at all. And I'm a sweet eater through and through, and this has very light sweetness to it. It's got enough, is what I'll say. It's got enough. It doesn't need any more at all. It's excellent. And the cookie, even though it's crisp on the outside, on the edge, the inside is soft and chewy. It's an excellent sugar cookie recipe. So I'll have all of that put in the description box below for y'all. My kids are hovering around, they want a piece. Okay, y'all, so I just wanted to show you too, before I signed off for the evening, the end result of the lasagnas that I made for my you know, for my dad and husband. So there they are, just came out of the oven. And I'm gonna put these little clear pie plate lids on there for transport. They've got their sugar cookies and everything, but that's the final result. And so they should have enough for them for this evening, okay? So it's just a little idea that you can try out, or think of other ways. You know, you could maybe make a spaghetti or a soup, or any meatball soup, and throw stuff in the crock pot, anything to repurpose and reuse any of the meats and things that we use for those pizzas that we might have had in excess, instead of just throwing them away or what have you. You can always, or you could stick them in a bag, like I said, in a freezer bag, and freeze it for another pizza for another time, okay? All right, y'all, well, I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. I love y'all. Bye.